This guy right here is what goes to the battery. And then this will go inside the truck. Now the cable that I ran down is the 8-pod connection, which we only have 4, but they all have to go down under the truck. So I ran these down that way, and we go down the fender well liner. We hug the fender well liner on the passenger side, and then that will come down. Let me see if I can climb under here and show you. That's going to come down right here. So it came down, there's the fender well liner, and then it comes down here. I went around that guy, and then it's going to end up, I chose this location for everything. So right here is going to be where all the connections are made on this little cross member. It's the best place I could find. I took that and shoved that in there. It just goes in there. And then here's all the 4 connections right here. And then as you can see, this right here, the smaller cable, is the front passenger's side rock light. And that went the pretty much the exact same way. And then this guy right here goes all the way back down that way. And I have not tidied this up yet. It goes right through there, and then it goes up to the fender well liner. So you can see my other cable that I have tidied up. I'm probably going to take this one and just probably follow the exact same, except it goes right there. The other rock light kit goes up to the battery. So on the other side, I did the same thing. As you can see, the cable comes down there from the back of the fender well, and then it goes that way, and then it comes to the cross member on this side. So I went, let me zoom that out. So I went in there, and then I went through this little guy right here. There's a little hole in the frame right there. Went through that, and then goes right to that cross member right there. And then they all connect to right there. So a lot of things you can fish by yourself, but I will recommend you getting a pool stick. It'll make it a little bit easier, but everything's going to end up right here, and everything's connected. And I've got to go ahead and check it, make sure they actually come on, and then I will install them permanently in the fender well liner. So it's hanging here. I haven't installed it yet. I'm going to have to use a T15 on a couple different screws to pop that out. But the way I was able to run this, I was able to shove that through, and you can either grab it back through here, and then you can kind of contorque it over that way because it needs to end up coming down. So that one's not bad. That one was pretty easy. And then on this back one, the back passenger, I took this. You have to go to this little slit right here. So it's pretty easy to peel this back and reach for it. And then you're going to have to take this T15 in order to maneuver it through here. And then you're down under the truck. So that one was pretty easy too. They're all really not that bad. And then on this side, did the exact same thing. I've still got this one hanging, and you go through that way. And then once you get to the front, this one's probably the most trickiest, but it's not terrible. So, because there's a lot of stuff, you can't go at the top of the hood. You have to do everything from under the hood. So, or from down under the truck. So you want to run that here. You can either use a pull stick or you can just reach your hand in there once you pull this back. But this will go that way, and then it will go to that cross member. So that's where all the lights are. Let me go ahead and put them up and install them in the fender well liners. Let's go ahead and check, make sure these things come on. I'm kind of far into it already, but there is where I connected the positive, and then the negative goes back to the negative on the battery. Don't mind this mess. I'm going to clean all that up. So let's go ahead and turn that on. So the first position is the white light. So it is working there. And let's go ahead and check this one. All right, and then let's go to the other side, make sure that they're working. And that one, oh, hang on. That's blue because the protective covers on it. Okay, now it's white. So make sure you take the protective covers off or they'll end up blue. And then this one, okay, it's also got the protective coating on it, so that's why it looks blue. So I'll peel that off here in a sec. So they're all working. Let me go ahead and install them. And oh, actually, let's switch to the amber real quick. So the second position is supposed to be an amber light, and there is the amber light. So it is also working, and it looks like it's working on the other side. So let's go ahead and finish this up. They look good. The colors look great. I'm going to go ahead and tidy it up, and we'll check it out. Let me show you the location I chose for this rock light. It's right here. Here's my other rock light. And if you don't have two like I do, you could actually put that one inside that spot, but because it fits pretty nicely in there. But this actually is not too bad either. I kind of want to change it up a little bit, have a different angle. So that's where that guy's going. And I did not use the little rubber piece. I feel like it just sticks down too much. You might need it, but I don't want it. So there's perfect little grooves for the wire to kind of go in to right there, and then it's going to go over to the slit. So let me go ahead and do the other side in the same location, and then I'll show you where I choose to put it on the back. For the back location, let me go ahead and show you where these go. So the screws are right there. So what I do is I hold the light up, and I just take my drill bit and go through the fender well liner, and then also on the other side do the same thing, and then take your screws and tighten them down. So this ended up right here. It's definitely easier with the fender well liner in the back. You don't have to take any screws. So I ended up putting it right in front of my other rock light, and we'll see how she looks. It's very easy to move if it doesn't look right. I did not use the little rubber boot. Didn't really seem like I needed it much, so that's where I decided to put it. So let me go ahead and do the other side, and we'll turn them all on. I've gone ahead and turned these on and checked them. That looks good. It looks like it's shining at the appropriate location. I've got this one on. That one is shining, and it looks good. Let's go around to the other side and check these out. So that one is also on. Just make sure you check your work. You don't want to get all the way done and be like, oh, this is not working. So that is shining as well. And it looks to be right about the right spot we want it to be. So let me go ahead and I've still got a bunch of wires hanging under the truck. I'm going to tidy that up. Go ahead and zip tie a bunch of them. And then I'll work on installing the switch in the truck. Now we're at the fun part, and that's getting through the firewall. So I like having my bull bar because it's a nice little ladder. So now I've got to go, or I've put the pull stick right through that little boot. So it's right there, and I've stuck it through. And then on the other side, let me climb under the truck or inside the cab and show you where it comes out. Okay, so there is where the pull stick comes through the firewall. If you can see that, it's right there. And then to give you a better, it's right above the gas pedal and brake pedal. It's a pain to reach there and get it, but I was able to do so. And then here is the pull stick. There's your vents for your air conditioning in the floor. So it's right above those. So let me go ahead and tie the wires on, pull it through the firewall, and show you where I'm going to mount the switch. So now that I pulled that switch down through here to give me enough cabling, I went ahead and ran this through, or I found the spot right here. right there to run the wire through. And that's where I'm actually going to mount the switch. I mean, it's right under the dash. You should easily be able to turn it on and off. That way you don't have to drill anything. It doesn't have, it can be hidden right under there. So you just need your step bit, and you just need to basically make that hole a tiny bit bigger. And then after you're done with that, I run that through there. I went ahead and soldered these connections. So getting through that firewall was a pain. And having those clips on there was also, it made it a lot more painful. So what I've done is I actually cut those off, and then it was just bare wire, a lot easier to get through that firewall. So, but I soldered my connections anyways. I was going to cut them anyways, so I went ahead and did it before I got them through though. So, but if you don't want to solder, I would still recommend cutting them off. Easier to get through the firewall, but I would just get you some more clips and crimp them on if you want to, if you don't want to solder. But that is what I did. So let me go ahead and make sure this fits, and I'll show you how it fits. So I think Lasfit must have looked under this dash and said, whoa, that's a perfect spot. Let's make the switch a round circle and people can choose to put it there, because that worked out perfectly. So I'm going to tidy this up, make sure nothing gets in the way of my gas and brake pedal, and then we'll flip her on and off. So now she's all wired up, and there's my 3 wires for my bull bore, my Sunpie Rock Lights, and my Lasfit Rock Lights. And then over here on the negative, I ran them to there. I did readjust my Sunpie controller, moved it over there. And that's the nice thing about this. You don't have that Bluetooth controller. It's just a big contraption. I do like the Bluetooth, but at least we don't have to deal with that. It's just a switch in the truck. So I went ahead and tied it up with all the other cables. And right there is where I went into the firewall. So I just came right there and tied off to that little bracket right there, and then up to the cowl. And I just tie wrapped it all the way. So we're pretty much away from anything that could get hot or anything like that. So I think we're good to go. And I think it's time to climb in the truck and make sure it works and compare the two. Let's go ahead and locate this switch. And thanks to my footwell lights, that is no problem. And here it is. So we're going to flip it to the left first, which is the number 2 position. Let me show y'all exactly where that's at. It just fits so perfect right there. And you can easily access it while you're driving. You can reach down, it's perfect. So let's make sure that it cut on, and that should be the amber, and it is. That looks really good. The back's working, and I see the other side lit up. So let me switch it over to the white. And it is white. So those are your 2 color options. You don't have any other options except for white and amber, but they definitely look really good and bright, and the location where they're at looks to be pretty good. So let me pull this thing out of the garage and we'll show it to you different angles, and then we will compare those to my other rock lights. Okay, there she is. So I've got the white light on. It definitely lights up that fender really well. And right there, and you've got some splash on the ground. So let's walk around to the other side. And there you go. So those things are nice and bright. They definitely splash on the ground. Thing is lit up. So those turned out really nice. So let me go ahead and switch over to the amber and show you what those look like at all these angles. All right, there is the amber. I actually really like that. Looks pretty good. So let me show you it over here. It splashes on the floor really nicely. And there is this angle right here. Looks really good. Lights up pretty much the whole fender well. Lot of light on the ground, that is for sure. So that looks great. So I'm going to switch back over to the white, and then we'll compare those to the Sunpie Rock Lights. All right, so I have got the Lasfit back on, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the Sunpie Rock Lights. And it lights it up a little bit more, and then turn it off, turn it on, and you can see under here, right there, that little light. Turn it off, on, and I do not think there's any comparison. I think this is a lot brighter. Let me go ahead and turn the Sunpie Rock Lights on, and then we're going to turn these off. That way you can see. All right, so I've got those turned off. Let me shut the door, and there is the Sunpie, and it does not splash near as much as those Lasfit. Those Lasfit look awesome. So those rock lights are much brighter. They have a lot more splash. So this is the Sunpie. This is the Sunpie Rock Lights. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you all this. I'm going to walk around, and I want y'all to see when I turn this switch on these rock lights under the seat here, or under the steering wheel. So watch this. That we have the Sunpie on right now, and then I'm going to flip this on. Boom. Way brighter, way more light. That's the Lasfit. So I'm going to turn that off, and that's what Sunpie is. So let me give you some amber. That lights up extremely bright compared to those Sunpies. So this is definitely, in my book, an upgrade. So I may end up taking the Sunpies off and putting them on my boat or something. But yeah, that I do like the color features of the Sunpie, but you cannot beat the brightness of the Lasfit, because the Sunpie does allow you to do like green and blue, things like that, but it is definitely not as bright as the Lasfit. So good deal. Okay, so I am happy to have that installed done. I was able to finish it up last night. I really like that switch being inside the truck in order to switch between the amber and the white, and it is way much brighter than those Sunpies are. The only thing I wish they offered was the Bluetooth functionality. I hate that you're not able to pull it up on your phone and change different multicolors, but there's a give and a take to these two kits. So if you're looking to install a kit like this, I was quoted like $800 labor. I think that's a little steep. So I said, nah, I'm gonna install this myself. So I've done 3 kits now. You can do 1, I promise you. Hang in there, you can do it. So I appreciate y'all watching this. If you like this install and like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. Until next time, see y'all.